I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody.
Crawford, I couldn't hit clean. They both hit hard because, and you can see the strength when I was fighting against Crawford. He is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting Canelo?
Very hard. Very hard. 50-50. For me, pound for pound, #1 is Terence Crawford.
The highly anticipated super middleweight showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is officially set for September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, with all 4 world titles on the line.
What do you think about that fight? Canelo Crawford. Good fight. Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like, so he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve the power.
Crawford will be moving up 3 weight divisions to compete at 168 pounds for the first time, aiming to dethrone Canelo in the super middleweight division.
I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, certain fights,
Boxing makes it something.
Like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, like height wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so, man.
Cool. How you got a decision to stop this? Raymond and Boozy think that Bud actually might stop.
Me and Boozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and him got on the phone talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line, not understanding that Bud could crack.
He faces a formidable challenge in taking on the naturally bigger Canelo, who has ruled the super middleweight division for years.
Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast, bang on him, and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo has, how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
the fight has split opinion among boxing experts and fans alike. Figures like Stephen A. Smith and Amir Khan have praised Crawford's technical brilliance, while others question whether his skill set will be enough to overcome the significant size disadvantage.
Crawford, Canelo, who you got?
Crawford, Canelo? I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yep.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out till that day comes.
It's the only way, but I definitely think that...
I don't see Crawford beating Canelo, but he could definitely prove me wrong, Garcia told Fight Hub TV. He highlighted Canelo's sheer physical strength, noting, "I've trained with Canelo, I've been around him, bro can really push back heavyweights."
I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously.
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He does.
Billy Joe.
Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. Skill level is 90.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo?
Tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching them, I'm like, man, I can beat this. Been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit.
When you have two great fighters, great things can happen. But I could see Crawford getting knocked out like Amir Khan style, Garcia said, referencing Canelo's brutal 2016 KO of Khan. He speculated that Crawford might adopt a defensive strategy but expressed doubt about its effectiveness.
Put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds. Because when Canelo has to fight, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. When Canelo could control the fight, in the ring generalship, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on the early rounds and make him have to play catch up in rounds 3, 4, 5, and then by round 7.
I think Crawford's going to try to implement something similar to what Floyd did, kind of stand your ground a little bit, Garcia said, referencing Floyd Mayweather's win over Canelo. But he doesn't have the same defense as Floyd. That's the thing.
The next couple of months are going to hold for both guys. It's going to hold for both guys.
This is going to be super interesting for Canelo especially. Everyone's focusing on Terence Crawford because he's a smaller guy. How much weight is he going to put on, et cetera, et cetera. No rehydration clause in this fight. Meaning, like when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo's the bigger guy, he put a rehydration clause in. Floyd was the money guy. Canelo wanted the payday. He had to acquiesce and give Floyd what he wanted. Canelo's the money guy. Terence Crawford can't go in there and say, hey, I want a rehydration clause. Not that he even would, right? So everyone's looking at Crawford. How big is he going to be? But I'm looking at Canelo. Canelo comes into this fight. The older Canelo, meaning the younger Canelo, the older guy, the old, long time ago Canelo, who was a really well-rounded counterpuncher, could do everything, or this more recent Canelo who just hunts guys down.
Despite acknowledging Crawford's elite boxing IQ, Garcia questioned whether he could maintain such a strategy for the full 12 rounds. He was blunt in his assessment, saying, I just don't know if he can keep that up against a guy like Canelo.
No problem. I mean, I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. Size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. I see the same thing. I mean, you start Canelo Alvarez fighting another time. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford worked for 47 to fight Magdalene. What did he do to Magdalene? So Magdalene was 400. Now, to move up to 158, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G. The head is shattered in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
I don't know how Crawford's going to be consistently beating Canelo throughout the rounds, unless he uses his legs and tries to outpoint him, Garcia said. He also raised concerns about Crawford's adaptation to the higher weight class, questioning how will he react to the new weight.
By saying that Canelo failed to deliver an exclamation point. And of course, unsurprisingly, David Benavidez was once again brought up in the conversation. People that were critical about Canelo's way of navigating the fight have pointed out that if Canelo can't knock out a much less experienced Edgar Berlanga, then very obvious why a fight with David Benavidez something that Canelo isn't really interested in. As of right now, a rematch with Dimitri Bivol, assuming that he wins against Arthur Beterbiev, is more likely to materialize rather than Canelo fighting David Benavidez. Canelo Alvarez has already made it clear earlier this week that a rematch with Bivol at 175 for the undisputed light heavyweight title is the tentative plan, provided of course that Bivol is successful in capturing those belts this coming October 12th against Arthur Beterbiev. What about you? What are your thoughts about that fight? And has Edgar Berlanga managed to earn...
Sometimes you're slower, Garcia noted. It's going to be interesting to see how Crawford adjusts and how fast his hands move. One of Crawford's greatest assets is his hand speed and timing, and when you're a little heavier, that can affect you.
So, Canelo Crawford, you've been there with Canelo. What can you take from sparring both of them
to gauge what's going to happen in September?
Preparation is going to definitely be everything. Crawford adjusting to the 160 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, like he's been showing his strength and stuff. So that's definitely going to help him. Canelo experience. He got Crawford, he got great experience as well. It's going to be a great fight. Going to be a good chess match. I expect a great fight. If I had to favor somebody, I would just pick Canelo because of the weight disparity. Canelo is naturally like 6 very well at 168, and it's just always tough for a guy to come to 168 and come from that many weight classes up and do something like that. If he does it, anybody can do it. It'd be Terence Crawford.